You water your garden. You follow the advice. Early morning, deep soak, good soil, maybe even mulch. You do everything the way it's supposed to be done. And still, by midday the soil is dry again. Leaves start to curl, growth slows down. You water again the next day, and the day after that. And slowly, without realizing it, you're stuck in a cycle. Water, dry, water, dry. It feels like you're maintaining something fragile, something that depends on you constantly showing up. And the moment you stop, it starts to fail. That's the part no one really talks about. You can do everything right and still end up with a system that depends on you every single day. And here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not your fault. You're not watering wrong. You're following a system that was never designed to hold water in the first place. A system that leaks. A system that forgets. A system that resets to zero every time the sun comes out. And once you see that, it's hard to unsee. Because the real problem isn't how much water you use. It's that your soil can't keep it. You've seen this before, probably hundreds of times. After a heavy rain, you walk outside the next morning. The top of the soil looks dry, almost dusty. But then you step on it, and suddenly it sinks a little. There's moisture underneath, hidden, stored, protected. The surface lied to you. And that's the detail most people miss, because we've been trained to look at the top layer, to react to what we see. Dry surface? Add water. But what if the surface isn't the system? What if it's just the symptom? Here's where everything shifts. Your garden isn't failing because it lacks water. It's failing because your system is locked. Locked into constant input, locked into surface-level thinking, locked into a cycle where water comes in and immediately escapes. Evaporation pulls it upward, gravity pulls it downward, and nothing holds it in place. So every time you water, you're not building anything. You're just resetting the clock. There's a method, quiet, almost forgotten outside of certain parts of Europe, that flips this entire system. Not by adding more water, but by stopping it from leaving. It's often called a German garden method, but the name doesn't really matter. What matters is the shift. Instead of feeding the surface, you build a system that stores water inside itself. And the moment you understand the mechanism, it feels almost obvious. Like something you should have realized years ago. Think about a sponge. You don't keep pouring water onto a table and expect it to stay. You use something that holds it. Something that absorbs, stores, and slowly releases it over time. Your soil, the way most people use it, isn't acting like a sponge. It's acting like a sieve. Water goes in and disappears. But what if your garden could act like a reservoir instead? This is where the unlock happens. You don't water more. You change what happens after the water arrives. You trap it. You hold it. You slow it down. And suddenly the entire system shifts from consumption to retention. Here's the simplest way to understand it. Imagine making coffee. If you pour water straight through the grounds too fast, you get weak, empty flavor. But if the water moves slowly, if it stays in contact, you get richness, depth, extraction. Your soil works the same way. Fast water is wasted water. Slow water becomes usable. And this is where the surprise hits most people. You can build this system for almost nothing. A few basic materials, often things you already have. Leaves, wood, organic matter. Maybe a small cost. $10, $15 at most if you need to buy something. That's it. No irrigation system, no expensive setup. No constant watering schedule. And here's the strange part. This works so well and costs so little, no one's trying to sell it to you. Because once you understand it, you don't need much else. Let me show you what's actually happening. Instead of treating soil as a flat surface, you build layers. Below the surface, where most people never look, you create a zone that holds water. This can be partially decomposed wood, dense organic material, things that absorb moisture and release it slowly. Above that, you add soil. And on top, a protective layer, mulch, leaves, anything that shields the system from direct sun. Now something interesting happens. When you water, or when it rains, the water doesn't just pass through. It gets captured, stored, held inside the structure you've created. At first, it doesn't look dramatic. The surface still dries out. That part doesn't change much. And this is where people get confused. They think it's not working because they're still judging the system from the top. But underneath, everything is different. This is where most people get it wrong. They disturb the system too soon. They dig into it, break the layers, let air rush in, or they remove the top cover because it looks messy. And the moment they do that, the system unlocks in the wrong direction. Moisture escapes, heat penetrates, and everything starts behaving like a normal garden again. Dry dependent, constant. But if you leave it alone, something else happens. Day one, it feels uncertain. You water once, maybe deeply, just to start the system. The top looks dry again by afternoon. Nothing impressive yet. Day three, the difference is subtle. Plants don't wilt as quickly. The soil, just a few inches down, still feels cool. There's resistance when you press into it. Week one, something shifts. You stop watering every day, and nothing collapses. Leaves stay open longer. Growth continues without that midday stress. Week two, you start to trust it. Because even on hotter days, the system holds. Not perfectly, but consistently. And that's the real result. Not magic, not infinite water, but stability. A garden that doesn't panic when you skip a day. A system that doesn't depend on constant input. A structure that works with natural cycles instead of fighting them. And once you see it, you start noticing the pattern everywhere. Forests don't get watered. Wild land doesn't rely on irrigation, yet it stays alive. Because the ground itself is designed to hold, store, and cycle moisture. Layers of organic material. Shade. Protection. Slow release. It's all there. This isn't just a gardening trick. It's a different way of thinking. Most systems we use are built around input. Add more, do more, maintain constantly. But natural systems don't work that way. They store, they regulate, they balance over time. And when you align with that, you stop working against the environment and start working with it, because dependence doesn't always look obvious. Sometimes it looks like routine, daily watering, daily checking, daily adjustment. It feels normal until you realize you've built something that can't function without you. And independence doesn't mean doing nothing. It means building something that keeps working, even when you step away. Something that holds what it needs. Something that doesn't reset every single day. And maybe the most surprising part of all this is how simple it really is. No advanced tools, no complex systems, no hidden technology. Just a shift in how you think about water. Not as something you constantly add, but something you learn to keep. Because the solution was never about more effort. It was about a better system. And once you see that, you start to realize something quiet but powerful. Everything you need has been right in front of you the whole time.